Not happening. I will take that every day of the goddamn week. I just completely lost my train of thought. Phillies game, absolutely electric for all 9 innings. I only ever watched baseball when it's the Phillies, just because I prefer the Philly announcers way more than any other announcers, because I feel like the Philly announcers actually have personality. One thing I noticed, the Braves fans were so unbelievably quiet. Like, you could almost hear like a pin drop in that entire stadium, unless the Braves knew there was like a 90% chance that something good was going to happen. Anytime a pitch was thrown or a call was made or just anything on the field happened, you either heard a chant or a boo or a rally cry. Didn't matter what happened, the Philly fans were making noise. Top of the first inning, the first 0-2 count, and you had red rally towels flying all across the screen, all across the stadium. You had people standing for the entire time. I don't know if I'm just so used to the chaos of the Philly fans, of the fanatics, the city of brotherly love, and the origins of the brotherly shove. That's why I'm also a very firm believer playing at Citizens Bank Park. It's definitely home field advantage. When those fans get rowdy and they're just supporting every single player, everything they're doing, that momentum and that confidence those fans give those players has to be otherworldly. Coming from a Phillies fan, I'm just gassing up my own team, but what the hell do you expect? I'm gonna gas up the fucking Braves. What have they done? Every single time a Brave was up to bat, they just got booed by the Philly fans. It was just the funniest thing. They were imitating the chop, taunting the pitchers and the batters. The cherry on top, where they were just chanting, "We want Strider." When'd you check that out? When's the last time you guys saw a draw in a Call of Duty match? That is also the first time I've ever seen execution in the best play. That's actually next level. I didn't even mention the whole beef that Harper had with, I don't even remember what the fucking Braves dude name is. Just staring that fucker down at second.
Make it make sense.
We're in the loading screen. You're trying to talk to me in game chat. Oh, your boy, let me see.
Sorry.
So what the fuck did you say?
You're not gonna wear some heels, but you're gonna shake your ass. That don't make no sense. Like, make it make sense.
I'll sling it. How about that?
Shut up.
I don't know what the hell is being talked about right now. Game of Thrones update time. Season 5, episode 2. Mainly focused up north. This is me right now trying to gather my thoughts for Game of Thrones. So much shit is happening. You asshole. Stannis is now north of the wall. He sent Jon Snow over to Mance, convince him to bend the knee to serve Stannis, so that all the wildlings would then serve Stannis and become part of his army. Even though Stannis doesn't exactly understand, if they bend the knee, then they're technically not free folk. Mance ended up refusing all the way to the bitter end. Punishment was burning at the stake, and I swear to you, that red woman, she only believes in the so-called Fire Lord just because she probably just gets herself off by torching humans alive. She is just a pyromaniac trying to find excuses to be like, yeah, this is okay behavior. Yeah, no, the Lord is telling me to do this, therefore I must burn the citadel or whatever. Mance begins burning alive, starts like wincing and like trying to hold back the screams. Then our boy, our beautiful bastard Jon Snow, getting way too uncomfortable, and he ended up just leaving. Then all of a sudden an arrow from nowhere pierces Mance in the heart, looks up, and none other than our boy Jon Snow. Stannis, of course, is like, yo fam, that ain't chill. They're not gonna fear me because Mance didn't suffer or whatever the hell. He brings in Jon Snow. He's like, hey, that wasn't too cool of you, but I have other plans. I need you to help me take the North, being Ned Stark's son. He's like, you know how the Northerners think. Pledge your sword to me, help me take Winterfell, help me take the North, and I will make you Jon Stark, Lord of Winterfell. Which, by the way, Jon Stark, just feel gross saying it. Feels like I'm picking a thorn out of my foot or something when I say that name. So Jon is like, yeah, I'll consider it. Tells Sam, he's like, I'm not taking that position, even though Sam says he damn well should, because it's a fantastic opportunity. Jon, just being the fucking good guy that he is, Jon pretty much just tells Sam, if I break my vows as a brother of the Night's Watch to become Lord of Winterfell, what good of a lord could I be? He cannot accept these terms. He has to refuse. Jon Snow is just literally like the best human in this fucking world of fucking snakes and rats. Previous Lord Commander, he got butchered back at Craster's Keep when the mutineers and the few Night's Watch went rogue. Not too keen on how Castor ran his place. I mean, let's be honest, not anybody would agree of how Castor ran his business. There was the voting for the next Lord Commander. I can't exactly remember remember who. There was one ranger that we've like never seen. Then there was the right-hand man to the previous Lord Commander. Really fucking hates Jon Snow with every bit of his being. Hates wildlings. Like, this is just overall is not a very good dude. It was just between those two, but then Sam spoke up, and dude, Sam is becoming just so much of a fucking man. I love it. He did this whole dope ass speech for Jon, saying like, I mean, he should be Lord Commander. I mean, yeah, he's young, but look at everything he's done so far in like short amount of time that he's been a brother of the Night's Watch. Got a standing ovation. It appeared to have been a tie, but I don't know if the Maester waited to cast his vote, because it was a dead tie until he counted the votes, and then all of a sudden Jon won by 1 vote. In the end, Jon becomes the next Lord Commander. I'm really curious to see how Stannis is going to take that news, because Jon didn't really tell him no yet. Can't exactly become Jon Stark of Winterfell. I mean, other than that, across the Narrow Sea, we got Daenerys, who, let's just say, things aren't working out too well for her. Finding out that it is very difficult to rule a people, especially rule a city of recently freed people, half the population who were the slaves that were freed, calling her mother and worshiping her, and then obviously the old maesters who are like, yeah, this is kind of weird. A lot of tension. Seeing her like float back and forth between going a bit too far, but then bouncing back, like the Mad King, as her one right-hand man made her aware of. As she was going to bring one of the dudes with like these gold masks who were basically killing the Unsullied, they ended up capturing one of them, and he was supposed to go on trial. But there was this one, I guess, freed slave in her small council who was really focused on killing this dude. Went out of his way to kill him before his trial. Daenerys was like, nah fam, that ain't gonna work. He was supposed to go on trial, so then she executed him. The recently freed people weren't too happy about that. Threw some rocks at the maesters. Whole riot broke out. And even before all that, Daenerys tried to go back to her dragons. One second son dude that is like, I guess her enforcer, but also her lover, is really weird. I was saying a mother of dragons with no dragons is no queen at all. So she tried to go back into that dungeon to free her 2 dragons, the green one and the blue one. They weren't too happy to see her start spitting fire everywhere. Got real aggressive. I'm like, yeah, probably was gonna bite you in the ass there, buckaroo. The really big red dragon, he actually just out of fucking nowhere came back. It's like, yo, what's poppin', fam? Kind of sniffed her hand a little bit, was like, it feels like I know you, but I don't really, unless he's just going through his like rebellious phase. So, and he just flew over the city. I really thought he was just gonna start torching the city. We did see Varys and Tyrion. I forget, it's a new place, so I don't really know that. I know it starts with a P, but pretty much they're across the sea. Tyrion is right now in a state of just pure despair and sadness, because he basically lost everything. Pretty much just drinking himself to death. Varys is being a G, man. Everybody needs a buddy like Varys. He's like looking out for him. Varys, with Tyrion in tow, are going to see Daenerys Stormborn. That'll be crazy, because that'll be the second time in the series so far that 2 stories that we have been following finally cross paths. Jaime is actually going to Dorne to rescue their daughter. They sent a warning message. It was a snake statue with a gold necklace in its fangs, and Cersei said there's only 2 of these ever made in the world, the one that I wear and the one that our daughter wears. Which is pretty much a threat, because obviously Oberyn is dead. Oberyn's brother, the Prince King, I actually don't really know what his status is. He was like saying he died in a trial by combat. That's not technically murder. Oberyn's wife? I don't know. I just seen she is not like a very nice lady, though. She is not too happy. The one dude doesn't want war. Obviously, the other girl wants justice for what happened. And she ended the conversation with, how much longer would you be king? Giving like little hints. You could like die pretty soon. Just saying.
Multiple hostile spy planes detected.
Give me that, baby. Jaime is going over to Dorne to get their daughter back, but he's also enlisting Tyrion's old sellsword, who was about to marry some chick, but he's like, hey, you know what would be better than you marrying this chick? You marrying an even better chick with getting an even better castle. Dude technically hasn't said yes, also technically hasn't said no, so we'll see. Ah, I'm so sorry, teammate. You scared me.
Hostile air patrol detected.
Oh, I can't. Somebody kill me, please. No, god damn it. Kill me. Kill me. How could I was never able to do this like until I actually wanted to die. The one time I actually wanted to run into the enemy and have them just pump me full of lead, I just waltzed down the side of the map without any resistance. That is wild. Oh yeah, and then there's whole Arya's position. She actually ended up going to Bravos, met a sailor, and she gave him the coin, said Valamacores. And then he said Valoreni something. I don't really know what the other word is. I just know Valamacores. Brought her to this like black and white door temple. Ended up knocking on the door, said the line again, Valamacores. I don't know why, just saying that is just a whole lot lot of fun. Sounds so mysterious. She asked for Jakon. This old dude with big old white cloak with a cane was like, there's no man of that name, and basically shut her out. She then like stayed out in like the wild in the town, somehow slicing a pigeon's head off with needle. That was wild, by the way. I'm not surprised that pigeon didn't just fly away. Selling it for some silver. A group of 3 boys tried to take it from her, and she basically said like, yo, silver isn't worth anything to dead men, or dead men don't need silver. Brought that line back up. Same hooded dude from Black and White Door Temple came out from behind her. The 3 boys instantly fucking scattered, basically shitting their drawers. So then the guy in the cloak told Arya to follow him back to the temple. Panned from left to right behind Arya. The dude basically removed his face to show Jahara, red hair, the little strip of white. Arya said, I thought you said there was no one named Jahar here. And he replied saying, I am no one. And that's who the little lady must become. I guess forsaking her own identity to basically learn how to get the skill set that quote unquote nobody has. She ended going into the temple with him through the black door. I will say there's gotta be some symbolism there. They went through the black door and maybe they only come out through the white door. Arya knocked on the white door initially. Black door opened to the original hooded guy, but then they also went through the same black door. So I'm wondering what the correlation is there between the colors. Maybe you go into their teachings through the black door when you are an outsider, and then once you learn everything, you exit through the white door knowing the skill set. What are you talking about, dude? I'm trying to theory craft here. We saw Sansa again for the first time. She actually dyed her hair more brownish black, and she's with Littlefinger. Now, I don't know if she's kind of learning of how to survive in this type of world. She's kind of almost acting like Littlefinger's wife, even though it's like the whole like niece and uncle relationship that they're going with. So I don't know if she's like kind of also playing him as he's playing her. All I know is that Sansa just looks dead on the inside. Yeah. Her expression, there is just nothing there. There's just bags in her eyes. Her like eyelids are half open. She just looks miserable. I mean, rightfully so. Lady Brienne and Podrick were in a tavern as Podrick realized Sansa was with Littlefinger. Brienne went over and basically gave the whole spiel saying how her sword was loyal to Catelyn Stark, and that she swore an oath to protect Sansa and protect Arya. But then Littlefinger's like, well, you see, everybody you've been in service to is dead. You were in service to Renly, he died. You were in service to apparently Catelyn Stark, she's also dead. You can understand why we're a little suspicious. As Brienne was trying to explain, Sansa was like, no, I don't want you around me. You can like politely and also not politely go fuck off. Brienne obviously did not like that very much. Getting a little heated, but then Littlefinger was like, well, do you really have to leave? Why don't you stay with us? We wouldn't want you on the countryside all by your lonesome. That sucked. Littlefinger's knights tried to stop her. She didn't take kindly to that. Proceeded to get outside the tavern, release all their horses, cause a bunch of commotion so they couldn't exactly follow them. It ended up with Brienne and Podrick both escaping. Now, I would assume they're going to keep hunting them because, as Littlefinger said, they know what happens to knights that disappoint Littlefinger, meaning that they get fucking butchered. Podrick also brought up an interesting point. You found both Stark girls. You did what you swore an oath to do, but both Stark girls have denied your service, denied your protection. Technically speaking, fulfilled your oath to find and to protect the Stark girls, but they, out of their own free will, chose to not have you in their service. If Brienne's done with that vow, which I don't think she will, I don't think she's going to give up on that easily. I think she's still going to try pursue the Stark girls, and or at least Sansa. God knows they obviously don't know where Arya is anymore, and I don't really think they're gonna find Arya anymore. She's kind of going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You picking up while I'm pointing down. Maybe their whole plot now is to just keep an eye on her, wait till Littlefinger does some fuck shit, which probably will be soon because he has a tendency to do some said fuck shit. Then maybe like save the day, kind of prove her loyalty, prove that she's worthy to be in Sansa's protection. What in the yadas? What in the... Brother, what are you doing? One thing I did forget was quite early into one of the episodes, we saw these 2 young girls, one with blonde hair, one with black hair, walking through the woods. The blonde girl was like, yo, let's just like walk around. Don't have to worry about my father. Girl in the black hair was like, yo, we should like not be doing this. This is kind of like some fuck shit. Ended up finding a hut in the middle of the woods who belonged to a witch. Blonde girl really wanted to know her future. The witch said, I bet I'll cut my finger, suck on my blood. And she's like, give me some of your blood and you get 3 questions. Won't we have a lot of kids? She said, King will have of 20, you only have 3. What in the fuck? That's a straight up panther. That is super fucking cool. Starts laughing real maniacally? Is that the right word? Maniacally? Wow, that's really bad. Basically starts laughing hysterically. Blondie gets real pissed off. Then it cuts to Cersei, pretty much showing us that was Cersei in the woods. I don't really know who the black-haired girl would be. If that actually, that could, now I'm thinking about it, that was probably a Baratheon. That could explain why Cersei's a little fucked up. It's actually kind of ironic now that Robert Baratheon was known as a drunk. Now Cersei's kind of been taking up that mantle. I think that just about wraps up where I'm at with Game of Thrones. I feel like I wrapped that up a lot better because the last time I updated you guys was from the Red Wedding. So much shit has happened. I kind of realized as I was like binging the show a whole lot. Yeah, it's great to just get absolutely lost in the show, lost in the story. But also, I want to like savor it. I know a lot of people talked about how it's like, oh, once you start, you just want to like binge the entire fucking show. My dad's coworker never saw the show before, watched all 7 or 8 seasons in the span of 1 weekend. Granted, I think it was a 3-day weekend, but still, that is an absurd grind. It's almost like, how can you even enjoy it in that short of time period? And that's kind of like where I'm at. I have the ability to stop watching after certain points. Like after the Red Wedding, I literally didn't watch Game of Thrones for 2.5 weeks because I was just so angry and just frustrated. Well, yeah, that's probably gonna be it from me. If you guys do want to see more Game of Thrones updates from me, definitely let me know. Hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is in your little corner of the world you're watching this video at. Stay safe out there, stay hydrated, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.